In communication with Southern California, KHJ-TV Public Affairs presents Teen Talk. Studies show that alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana are the three most popular drugs. Approximately 10% of all teenagers are potential alcoholics. Despite heavy warnings to the contrary, cigarette smoking among teens has been increasing. The National Institute on Drug Abuse states that 1 in 10 high school seniors use pot daily.
We all know drugs come in a variety of forms. Drugs such as alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, and Valium. We all know how easy it is to buy drugs, and we're all worried that our kids might be in a position to abuse drugs. Not many of us can face the label addict. That's always for someone else's kid. I'm Joe Feinstein, and this is Teen Talk. Today we're going to explore the world of drugs. We'll touch on some of the whys and wherefores, and we'll also attempt to help pass on some useful new research which may help cure some of the drug addiction that's going on. We have a special panel today, including my friend Tony Hill, the former director of the Narcotics Information Resource Center. Welcome, Tony. Welcome, panel. Welcome to Teen Talk, all of you. And Tony, let's begin with
Teen
you.
Talk on Drugs, Part 2. A panel discussion with host Joe Feinstein on the subject of drugs.
Joe, to start out with that apparently simple question, but I think the answer is pretty complex. But in an attempt to keep it simple, I think young people use drugs as a form of communication. And that might sound funny to you, but I firmly believe over the last 15 years I've been working with young people that when young people use drugs, they're trying to say something.
What are they trying to say, Tony?
Most of the time, they're trying to say that I need some help. I need some help communicating maybe some feelings that I'm having, some confusions that I'm having, some independence that I'm seeking. Lots of different things that can be said when a person uses a drug.
Okay. Let's kind of reach out a little bit and find out what are these some of the reasons that some of you decided to use drugs? Mike, I see your head shaking up and down there.
Yeah. I started when I was 10 years old, and I started with my older brother and his friends. And I felt I was really in place when I started using them. I felt really comfortable, and I felt accepted by the older people.
I was accepted, I felt comfortable. Two major reasons. Lisa, you're shaking your head. What seemed to be for you?
The same thing. I started when I was in junior high school, really, and there was a lot of feelings of, wanted to be accepted, and that there was a lot of stuff going on. I was real insecure, and drugs were a real easy way, of getting acceptance and, and getting what I wanted.
It feels good.
Oh yeah.
Always feels good. What about your experiences, Michelle?
I don't know, I started when I was 11, and I got into it a lot, and I started getting arrested, and I got kicked out of school. And it just made my life unmanageable.
Unmanageable. And yet they persisted. The drugs persisted for you.
Yeah. Got worse.
Got worse. Elisa, you have an interesting story?
Well, I started out because my best friend did it, and we'd known each other since first grade, and it seemed like the thing to do at the time. And as time went on, I didn't do it mainly for the feeling and to be, for how it felt. I did it because I needed it. I needed it to talk to people. I needed it to feel comfortable around other people. I really, I didn't think I could do it without it because there was such a big, emotional need.
You bring up a problem of why you need to do it. Does a person use drugs as a crutch, as a way to cope with the problems and the difficulties of living and of life? Is that what it is?
Exactly, because for me, when I was using, that was like an escape from reality. I didn't want to deal with reality. I didn't want to have nothing to do with the world. It was like I was in a fantasy land. I was constantly smoking pot, cocaine, or whatever, And
What's that fantasy land like for you, Marsh?
it's not dealing with responsibilities, not, you know, all it is just getting high and doing what you want to do, not some things that you should be doing, like going to school, like, you know what I mean, just doing things.
Really? Really? You can relate to all this.
Oh yeah, well we have a really highly competitive society, and a lot of people don't get the support that they need growing up, feeling like I fit in and I'm a part of this and I have something to contribute. And when you don't, we'll find our different subcultures or our different distractions from that reality. And it's important. Drugs work.
Drugs work. Did they work for you?
Well, I never really got into them because I was exposed to all of it, but when I tried them, it just wasn't really a good experience for me.
What drugs did you find yourself leaning toward, Francoise?
Well, I didn't really lean towards any, like I said, but I did try all of them. I've tried, you know, alcohol at parent get-togethers.
We can't forget that alcohol is a drug. It's the most often used drug that teenagers will be involved with, and that's an important one. Greg, what's been your experience?
Well, I haven't been a drug abuser, but I lived in the type of area where drugs were seen as an escape. It's like it filled a void because everyone felt a kind of futility, and I was so afraid of falling into that the easy way and tracking, and I kind of fought it, and I did everything I could so I didn't have to fall into the feeling of futility.
Feeling good appears to me to be one of the chief reasons people say they want to use drugs. But the good feeling only lasts a short time. If it only lasts a short time, and there's so much danger involved, then why do people make this choice of continuing to use drugs? Mike, why do they do this?
Well, I know for myself, when I started, you know, I saw films and that kind of stuff in school. And when I used it, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to see dragons and lions and tigers and, you know, anything crazy like that. It was just me being okay with me, that I never had that good feelings before. You know, I was always told how I felt, you know, how I was doing bad things, and from my peers, from my parents, from the schools, the police, everybody. And when I got involved with the drugs, it made me okay with me.
Made you okay with you. Did it make you okay with you, Amash?
Yeah, I think it did.
In what way?
It was, I didn't care, you know. It was, I was just perfectly okay. I thought I was just something great, you know what I mean? I didn't care about anything else as long as I was high and I was feeling good about Marcia, and that was that. You know, I didn't really care what other people thought. Who cares about them? I'm high, man, so I'm on a good trip.
Who cares about the consequences? Who gives a, you know, worry about the, did you ever worry about the consequences of the drugs?
No.
Never?
I never.
They just
Didn't think about it. I didn't care. I just did it.
Just did it. You were kind of robotized, like an automaton, like a robot?
Well, I did whatever made me feel good, and I didn't care what happened because I never thought anything would happen to me.
Tony, what's going on? Why do they do it?
Well, drugs, I think they got their use to kill pain, and people have all kinds of pain. We have physical pain, emotional pain, psychological pain. And I think when you take a drug, and we're taught at a very early age to ingest something from outside inside to make you feel good, to make you better, I think drugs fit that category.
This is where the Anacin with the beep, beep, beep on the head and the Bayer and all those different kinds
plop,
of
plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. And you learn that from the time you're 5 years old till the time you start smoking joints and drinking alcohol and trying to escape those feelings that you're not comfortable with.
What goes on with mom and dad when they discover all this stuff? Mom and dad find you out.
Mom and dad freak out at first. I think what usually happens is most parents, confront their teenagers. And when my parents found marijuana in my room and they asked me, I, said what most teenagers say is it's not mine, it belongs to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents were real comforted to hear that because that's what they wanted to hear. They wanted to hear that it wasn't mine, that it belonged to somebody else. And it's real. I think now I see it's real hard for parents.
Real hard for parents. You're going to be one of those parents one of these
One of
days.
these days,
We'll
yeah.
talk about what you're going to do, a little bit later on. Elisa, they find you out. Mom and dad discover you. What happens?
Well, at first she didn't, even do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then she really found out and found all the things I had, the bongs and the pipes, and made me call a number at some boarding school. And I happened to be a con, and I conned her out of it. And it's kind
How'd
of
you do that? How'd you do that? Let's get to know so we can, understand that. How
Well,
do you con?
First of all, I knew she was thinking, not my little baby, not my little girl. It can't be her. And I know that, when she's thinking that, then that gives me the advantage because I can say, well, it wasn't me. Really, it wasn't. I was holding it for a friend. Or, I found it and I wanted to know what it was, and it was, something real dumb that I myself, wouldn't be true. But because she's in such a vulnerable state and she's in such denial, she doesn't think about, well, that's not, that doesn't make sense. She wants to believe that it's not her little girl.
Not her little girl.
I think that a lot of this comes about because parents, they just don't get down to the level of their kids, and they should try to understand what their kids are feeling and what their kids...
All right, don't talk to me about what the kids and so on. What happened at Francois' mother's home or Francois' father with, your father? What happened to you when they discovered that you were drinking?
Well, I told them that I had tried it, and they just didn't want it to become a habit. With me, it didn't become a habit, but a lot of my friends, I had seen it had become a habit, and their parents just didn't understand, and maybe if they were more liberal and open with their kids, they would try to help them out instead of having their kids have to help themselves out in the end or just go down all the way.
Are you guys into recreational drugs at this point in your lives? I mean, little pot is okay, little liquor is okay.
I tried that.
Yeah.
And I had a year sober, and I thought I was cured, that I can go back to it. And I found out that I didn't because I got more involved in it than I ever did because I had the program and I had the people that cared, which never occurred before. And then I had that, and it made it that much harder. It wasn't the same.
You're telling me that there's no more, you're not into any kinds of drugs at all anymore?
I have a year and a half off them.
Year and a half off?
Yeah.
And what about you? What about you, Marsh?
Well, me, I know I can't go back and use because I've tried the same thing that Mike said. After I got 11 months sobriety, I thought, wow, I'm cured now. I can go out and drink socially, smoke pot socially. Well, I tried that, and it was so much worse. I'm a compulsive person. I'm very compulsive of drugs. I mean, one pill's not enough, one joint's not enough, one drink's not enough. I need more than that, and it was just on and on. I could never get enough.
Dr. Stanton Peele wrote a book called Love and Addiction, and in it he states, only you can quit your habit. Nobody can quit the habit for you. And I'm wondering, panel, how you feel about that very kind of statement. Elisa?
Well, I know for me that it was real hard because if I were to quit for my mom or if I were to quit to show people that I could do it, just to let them know I could do it, that I would go back. because I'm just doing it to show them. I need to do it for me to help me and, you know, to make me feel better. And if I don't, then there's really no point to it, because I know that with my will and with
your ability to con,
right.
then the question would be, how do you not con yourself?
Right.
Right?
Right.
And you're not doing that, I trust.
No.
How do you stop? How did you stop that?
Well, I think mainly one day at a time. You know, I got into a couple real self-help programs. I got into a couple 12-step programs, and I went to a hospital, and I just, you know, I really did a lot of things on my own. And what happened was I got kicked out of my house, and I had to move somewhere. And I moved in with a friend that I've known since first grade, and I knew she was sober. And even though I'd gotten high with her before, I knew, and I know that deep inside I really wanted to, you know, be sober and to learn the way to live like that. But on the outside I was telling my friends, yeah, I'll be back every weekend and I'm going to get high with you, and thank God I didn't. But I know that that's the way I was, because that's how, you know, powerful my disease is.
The disease, that's what we call it, huh, Lise?
That's right. That's, you know, my belief is that it is a disease, you know, and because of that, I can't get high like, you know, other people can do recreationally, and I can't drink like other people recreationally, and you know, so it's either all or nothing for me.
What? Yeah, I know you went to a group. Which group did you go to?
I went to the Palmer Drug Abuse Program, and I heard about it, and a friend turned me on to it, and you know, it really, I don't know, you know, what I would have done, because I didn't know there were places for teenagers to go with drug problems. You know, I thought that there were all kinds of other things wrong with me, but the last thing I thought, you know, was a drug problem.
Well, the Palmer Drug Abuse Program is certainly one of the programs, and Cry Help is available. I think all of them have a number at 1-800-BE-SOBER is the new group, and it's a kind of umbrella organization. So people who want to clean up their act a little bit can go that way. Tony, the people that came to the Narcotics Information Resource Center, what did you do? How did you help them overcome drugs?
Well, I think that the most important contribution you can make to somebody in that state is listening. Because, as I said at the outset, drug abuse and substance abuse is a form of communication, and people are trying to tell you something. So that if you can, at first, put yourself in a frame where you can listen to young people. A lot of people are telling young people what to do. At school, you get told what to do. At home, you're told what to do. At work, you're told what to do. And I think a lot of people don't get the benefit of being heard a lot of times. And just listen to me and find out the kind of struggle and pain I'm in. And then help a young person to start evaluating their choices. See, because most people don't know that they have choices when they get stuck on these paths.
Gang, you've just been appointed the chairperson of the Drug and Alcohol Abuse Program. You've got unlimited funds, and you can make determinations of how to help a whole array of younger people and teenagers and some older people who are having the drug abuse problem. What do you do? What do you do? Greg?
I would spend a lot of money on advertising, so the young people and the parents will know that these programs are out here, because a lot of programs go wanting just for lack of information. And I would spend as much money on helping the drug addicts as their parents, helping their parents deal with the situation, because whether the addict is trying to get help, if their parents or the people around them aren't accepting the fact that they are working towards a goal of self-satisfaction, of knowing that they're being sober, it's not really going to work out for them.
Okay, yeah?
I think also that it shouldn't be put off as such a bad thing. You know, all these different places that, for example, the one she mentioned and stuff, it shouldn't come off as like you have to feel guilty if you go, or you have to kind of hide going. It should be welcomed more. It's so hidden.
I think that teens learn from other teens best of all. I think that you guys, those of you that have been involved in these programs and those of you that know drugs in a first-hand kind of way, when you speak out and you tell the story in your own words, in your own way, I think it's adding immeasurably. Mike, you've just been appointed the commissioner. What do you do?
I would explain to people that it's not just the one person, that it's a family problem. Because if you aren't addicted to the drugs, you're addicted to the kid who's on the drugs. And when our meetings, it helps to show that it's okay. You know, that there's another way of life that you can have without drugs and be happy.
Each and every person affected by drugs generally senses a moment of truth which helps crystallize the desire to quit. This is usually combined with the understanding that the drug is bringing only sadness and unhappiness and that a change of behavior is necessary. Remember, the first step is yours to take. I have 2 books to recommend. There's the wonderful book Family Matters by Dr. Rebecca Smith, and the other wonderful book Teenage Survival Guide by Kathy McCoy. And those of you that would like to participate on Teen Talk, would you send us a non-refundable picture and tell us some of the material that you'd like to talk about? Send all of that to Joseph Feinstein, care of Teen Talk, KHJ-TV, 5515 Melrose Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90038. Panel, I can't begin to tell you how much insight and truth and information you help provide to the audience here insofar as your drugs and the whole business of drugs. Joe Feinstein for Teen Talk saying we will see you very soon.